be like an application or something.
We will call to order our regular monthly council meeting for Wednesday, March 17th. For approval of the agenda.
I'd like to make an addition.
Okay.
The addition, I'm gonna add, a motion, on the Island Literary Awards, for under section, 9(1)C.
As amended.
Second.
Okay. Those in favor?
Aye.
Do you have any disclosure of conflict of interest? We will ask for approval of the minutes for February 17th, the regular council meeting. So moved. All those in favor?
Aye.
Business arising. Okay, and today we have a presentation. Presentation. Or Dr. Stewart. Dr. Stewart. Well, it gives me great pleasure to give you this little plaque and card from the town. Your building is magnificent. I mean, your commitment to the town, 34 years or plus, is that correct?
Well, yeah, it'll be 35 this summer.
Yeah, and the new building, I mean, many of us here remember it as a grocery store, convenience store, gases, and what was the other place? Yeah.
Right?
Yes,
Right?
yeah.
Have a good crusty.
Yes, yes.
That's right.
Yeah, so we thank you for your commitment and as well as for restoring the building. It looks beautiful.
Well, we're awfully happy with it.
Good.
We just did it for all of our patients in the town, and we've had a great time here over the last 35 years.
And we're very glad to have you.
Well, it's our pleasure.
Thank you, and this is for you
Thank you.
and your staff. We see some of your staff here with you. You'd like to
Yes,
acknowledge
this
them?
is Heather Jones, Dr.
Heather.
Heather Jones, my daughter, Dr. Glennis Stewart,
Huh?
and a friend of ours.
Yes, it's this gentleman who kept pressing us on to
Is
get
that
the award.
right?
Yes. It's
Oh,
this friend of
dear.
yours. Yeah, it's interesting to see you have 5 dentists with you, is that correct?
Yes, there's Dr. McQuaid, Dr. Liam McQuaid, and Dr. Happy,
Okay.
oral surgeons. Yeah.
Great.
Dr. Happy?
A couple of days a week, yeah.
And you have 9
How are you?
9 assistants, is that correct?
There's about total of 15 staff.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, no,
Well,
we're
we
really happy
thank-
to be here. It's a great community.
It is.
And it's growing, and it's
Yes.
doing so well.
Yes.
Just because of crowd like you guys that
Well, it's great to have your support too. Yeah, it's
have the
great.
vision of running a community like this.
Well, again, thank you so very much for your commitment to the town. And-
Well, thank you. Sorry I'm late.
Oh, that's okay, that's okay. Thank you then. Can you get it right?
Oh, we should have a picture.
Yeah, there.
Your worship, can we get a picture?
Yeah, maybe right here with you guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Very
We got
Do
to
you
give
want-
you the
yes.
back if you wish.
Oh, okay, that's a great idea.
Take it out of the bag. Take it out of the bag.
Well, we
Take
can
it out
take
of
a
the
picture
bag.
on camera too.
I did.
No, Laurent, we want you in there too. I'll take your
Yes,
picture.
we need-
Okay, well, I'll get you to take a picture.
And we need the plastic off.
Oh,
I know, it's hard to know
Right.
what to do, right?
Look at me and smile.
Perfect.
Worship, perhaps you should be in the middle with.
Sure,
everybody.
doesn't matter. Just wherever.
I can just send you the picture.
It is kind of.
There's the camera right there. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, 1 second.
I give myself no trouble, I don't.
Perfect.
Great, thank you.
Okay, thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks again.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, Laurent,
Laurent.
Laurent, he ran for council.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Ward one,
Okay.
Ward one, yeah, yeah.
Councilor Burns, would you like to do your infrastructure committee report, please?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The committee met on March 4th. I'd like to thank everyone that was in attendance that evening. We discussed the operational and capital budget for 21-22. We reviewed various spending priorities. One of those that were discussed, I'll bring a motion forward for the Jesse Street extension. And we also discussed briefly a letter that was sent to Mr. Aylward, reviewing some of the safety concerns that we have here in Cornwall. So I'm hoping to have a response from that letter next month. And I'm just gonna move forward to the motion. Motion number I-03-2020, Jesse Street Water Sewer Extension. Moved by myself, Councilor Burns, seconded by Deputy Mayor Stevenson. Whereas the town of Cornwall water and sewer utility infrastructure requires significant upgrades, including an extension of the water and sewer mains from Jesse Street to Main Street at the Business Park entrance to increase water quality, fire flow, water pressure, and allow for further development in this area of town. And whereas the municipal strategic component of the gas tax program has funding available for such projects, therefore be it resolved that the town of Cornwall approve applying to the municipal strategic component of the gas tax fund for Jesse Street Water Sewer Main Extension Project in the amount of $92,655.75, which represents 50% of the estimated total eligible cost of this project.
Is there any, comments or concerns on this resolution?
I just had one question, will there be any extra lots? 'Cause of this-
Off there?
Off there, or no?
Yeah, I think there's two sixplexes gonna go on there, being looked at anyway, for the west side of the street, I think.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried, thank you.
And that's everything for this evening, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Planning Committee, Councilor McCausey.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Planning Committee did not meet last month in lieu of the 72-hour closure for the modified red alert level of COVID-19. So I do not have anything to bring forward.
Thank you. Committee of Council report, Finance Administration.
We didn't include comparative income statements in the package this week because we've been all looking at comparative income statements basically on those draft budgets for the last several weeks, so there's no change from what was seen last week and presented last evening. And we will be going back over them again next week at the committee meeting. And, we'll be having a special meeting for the budget on March 31st to pass it.
Thank you.
And I think under that, after that, under finance and admin, what we have is a bylaw to establish reserve funds.
Want me to read that?
Yes, Councilor Frizzle, please.
Motion number FA 12-2021, moved by myself, seconded by Councilor McIsaac. Whereas the Prince Edward Island Municipal Government Act requires the passage of a reserve fund bylaw should a municipality desire to establish reserve funds. And whereas the town of Cornwall desires to establish reserve funds in the future and does not currently have an approved reserve fund bylaw, therefore be it resolved that the town of Cornwall bylaw 2021-02, a bylaw to establish and manage reserve funds, be read and approved a first time.
Does anybody have any comments or concerns with this one, this resolution? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you, Councilor Frizzle.
Thanks staff and Shelley for helping put this together. Answer all our questions, especially mine, and thanks.
The reports are included in your package, the ones that I had.
Excuse me.
Sorry,
Kevin, we have the amended,
The
with the
amendment.
motion
Oh,
for,
right.
yeah,
sorry.
that's okay. Very quickly, I have motion FA 13/2021, moved by myself, Deputy Mayor Stevenson, seconded by Councillor Frizzle. Whereas the PEI Writers Guild supports the development and sustainability of the literary arts on Prince Edward Island, and the town of Cornwall supports participation in the arts, and the arts have become increasingly important during the current pandemic. And whereas the PEI Writers Guild has requested that the town of Cornwall sponsor the short story second place prize in the amount of $250 in the Island Literary Awards. Therefore, be it resolved that the town of Cornwall donate $250 to the PEI Writers Guild for the use as the second place prize in the short story category of the Island Literary Awards.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Is there any comments or?
Just a great, great organization, great use of, donation funds, for sure.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried, thank you.
I'll pick up where I left off. I included the reports in the package there from the police, transit, bylaw enforcement, and Tracy can give us a oral update on any engagement, although that's pretty limited.
I'm attending a workshop for 8 weeks with connectors for workplace diversity and inclusion. So today was the second one of that. Lots of great information, and networking.
Great.
The RCMP reports in there, tickets are down slightly. They're still at 38 though, which is down a bit probably from the 50 or so that we've been averaging of late. There's the report as well with a little bit of narrative to the incidents that they've responded to, if there's any questions on any of those. And I think we'd already discussed that we'll get Staff Sergeant out for next month's first committee council meeting.
Just on that, I don't know if anybody read, the Guardian newspaper today, but, Cornwall was mentioned a few times in regards to traffic offenses, speeding on Main Street. I forget what the speed was, but it was.
160 or something.
I think it was, yeah, it was 160 in a 60 zone.
Was that, Council Parsons?
It didn't say, but, so there was that, and there was, I think an impaired driver, and I think another violation, traffic offense, I think it was just this past weekend, all three happened, so, it's disappointing, and, just kind of, reaffirms the need for more traffic safety and more traffic enforcement, so, pretty scary.
3 out of the 4 that they reported on were in Cornwall.
3 out of the 4 they reported on were in Cornwall.
Which is, like you say, is disappointing, but it's good that they're.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, that's absolutely, it's good that they were caught and that kind of thing, for sure. It's just disappointing that people are doing that kind of stuff here in Cornwall, so.
Yeah, for sure, and hopefully we even get, I mean, the enforcement's been very good for the last 6-8 months, I think, as we're all kind of aware, I mean, as best we know for.
Yeah.
Hopefully it picks up the infractions being caught just with the presence of the police station here with coming and going traffic of police units, et cetera, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully that'll be the case. Say the narrative is in the report as well regarding the incidents that they respond to. The transit numbers are in there, of course, very disappointing compared to last year. But when we compare to 2019, we're still maintaining 70% of our ridership from 2019, which again is disappointing, but obviously understandable. Last year was a great year with the students at the Dutch Inn. Hopefully we can pick back up when we get out of this COVID thing, if we ever do. And that said, we were looking at inviting Mike out next month as well, so I'll follow up and do that once we're done budget. We'll get the staff sergeant out and the Mike cast. If there's any questions on any of those reports, just let me know.
I'd just like to add regarding the RCMP statement, it's quite, when you go through the amount that they've responded to in a month, it's quite significant. And I'd just like to say they're doing a great job.
They really picked up in the last one. Anyways, on to Parks and Rec there then. The minutes from that committee
In the
council
council meeting, the
Alright.
committee of parks, yes.
in the package. As well as Kim's monthly report.
Yes.
Just have one question here, or one, instead of next year doing Terry Fox for an outdoor rink, let's look at putting another outdoor rink out front here. Terry Fox is probably more man hours than out here, right? I think that's well-known fact that, and it's not open as much, right? I think it's open. It's open between your 70, out front's 30 days, Terry Fox 17 days, so kinda, we should be focusing on it here maybe instead of Terry Fox.
As we've discussed, Clarence can't explain it either, why that ice is somewhat different up to Terry Fox.
I think it's
Actually, Kim had noted that it was what was under the ice.
Yeah.
They had replaced the surface
Yes.
last year, the year before.
Yeah.
So it doesn't hold the cold like it used to.
He was talking the wind and the wood boards as compared to these. So I can put that on the agenda for next week's Parks and Rec Committee Council meeting.
Yeah, please do.
And certainly we budgeted to buy, I think, is it 2 more sets of these boards, Shelley? In the capital budget, so I'll add that to next week's agenda. Okay.
Thank you.
It would be nice though if we could keep the Terry Fox or one up there, because I know a lot of the kids just go up there and skate around and play, you know. I mean,
I
in
think
that
for,
area.
I think for safety, it would almost be better having 2 separate areas though for skating versus hockey.
Yeah, the only thing is, it's not even open, just over 50%
I know,
of the
yeah.
time, right?
That was 3017, right, I think that was February 24th.
Which one's that?
The Terry Fox outdoor rinks. Bottom of page, bottom of, oh, yeah.
For sure the one out here is, I mean, it's all you guys, but I also know that sometimes just some kids go up to the Terry Fox, they just play hockey along themselves, so.
I wonder if there's a way we can encourage or support some different parks, residents around those parks to maybe maintain, outdoor rinks, and we help them set it up, get going, but it would be, you know, incumbent upon.
I think we did that.
We did that over
before I
here
got
one
here.
year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we still doing
We
it?
helped them set up and then the community maintained it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this little kid, how old was he, like 10? Wrote a letter to
Yes.
the town, it was great.
Yeah.
And
Are we still doing that now?
We haven't gotten a letter since that young
No.
gentleman, but I mean, if
Okay.
we did, I'm sure we'd entertain it.
So how did that work?
Yeah, did that work out well?
Did we supply the boards or something, or what did we do?
We just flushed it.
We flushed it.
And then,
Flooded it from?
yeah, and then I guess
Maybe we
the
leveled it as
families, we
well.
leveled it, flushed it, and then the families took care of it for the
Yeah.
winter.
Yeah, okay,
So it was just their initial setup.
And then we allowed another group over there in
Yeah, we
Sunrise
did.
Yes,
to
Sunrise
put
Club,
one
they
in
put
on
it
our
over in
property.
there.
yeah.
And then they maintained it.
And they maintain.
So yeah, no, we're certainly open to those kind
Yeah.
of things, again, I can add that to the same agenda.
Yeah, well, why don't you add that, and
Yes.
then we would just go with Councilor Wiggins' request, and I think there's a way to make it all.
Because there's certainly enough, residents looking to play ice hockey
Right.
out here out front.
I think there's a few residents that are looking to unload their own backyard rink and kind of pool their energy and
Well, I think for
resources.
anyone that's ever installed one and maintained it.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of good intentions, but it's a lot of work for folks.
Right.
So those minutes are in there, if there's any questions on them, and we don't approve them at this meeting, they'll go to next week's and get approved, but there's the draft minutes are in there. Excuse me, and Kim's report, which we just kind of discussed.
Alright, I'll move forward with that resolution.
Okay.
Alright, motion number PR-06-2021, sport tourism strategy, moved by myself, Councilor Byrne, seconded by Councilor Deputy Mayor Stevenson. Whereas the town of Cornwall is committed to developing and investing in strategies that promote economic development and recreation, particularly during the current pandemic. And whereas the province of PEI realizes approximately $16.3 million per year from sports tourism, and whereas the town of Cornwall owns and operates a first-class sporting facilities and desires to expand the use of such facilities in an area of sports tourism. Therefore, be resolved that the town of Cornwall adopt the sports tourism strategy considered at the committee council meeting held on February 24th, 2021, attached to this resolution on a pilot project basis to be reviewed after 1 year.
Does anybody have any comments regarding this strategy?
I'll just make one comment on the fee reduction amount. So the provincial event is 50% facility fee reduction. Atlantic Canadian Championship, 75% reduction, and Nationals 100%.
Yeah.
I would have liked to seen 100% all across the board, but I will support this, but I think it's a good first step. But I think it would be great to encourage, to support the provincial and Atlantic events at the same rate. But that said, I'll certainly support this.
And this is a pilot too, Councillor
Yeah.
Bizzle, so that will be looked at again.
Yeah, I understand.
I think this is a great, first step, especially maybe when we're thinking COVID a lot, maybe not, but as we wiggle out of COVID, I think the economic and recreational benefits coincide so well, and I think this could be a great benefit for the town, so I'm glad to see us kind of hone in the focus on sports tourism for the town, so.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. And we do have a correspondence from, it's in your package. Not the law agreement for the autism. Society PEI. Thank you. Contribution. I guess, we will adjourn.
No, Madam Mayor, I had something under.
Oh,
other business.
sorry, yes, go ahead.
I just had a very quick, less than a minute, just a couple recognitions for some residents. I just wanted to recognize Michelle McQuaid and Team Suzanne Bird, who represented PEI and Cornwall very well at the Scotties Tournament of Hearts recently in Calgary, Alberta. They were one win short of the playoff round, so they should be very proud and keep their head held high, and we look forward to next year. I'd like to recognize Brianna O'Connor, who just recently, the UPEI Student
Yes.
Union held their student union elections, even though they're not there in class, they're getting ready for next year, and she was able to win a seat as an arts representative, and as a UPEI alumni, I'm very happy to see the student body in great shape with great folks such as Brianna. And lastly, I just wanted to give a congratulations to Bluefield High School, Oliver Batchelder, Lilia Curley, and teacher advisor Chloe McCluskey for the recent virtual PEI Provincial Student Debating Competition win, which they won the Confederation Cup. And it's great to see students such as Oliver and Lilia involved and represent our school community so well. And they're off to the virtual naturals now, and I wish them the very best.
Actually, Oliver was at the Nationals last year as well.
Oh,
Last year,
nice.
2 years ago, I think last year was canceled.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, with COVID last year, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But he was there the year before in Halifax.
See the young gentleman that was speaking in the house here one day about
Yes.
the,
Yeah.
very well spoken.
Oh, you mean with the lowering voting age?
Yeah.
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 Well, we certainly extend good wishes and to all of these people rising above. Okay, anything else? We will adjourn.
Thank you.
Thank you.